Discipline and spiritual growth aren't the same thing. People treat them like they are. This is the mistake. Discipline is a precondition for growth, not a substitute for it. Every tradition that's serious about this builds in some form of sustained practice, such as Vedanta and the Christian monastic tradition. Why? Because insight without repetition evaporates. You can have a real glimpse of something bigger than your ego, once, in a single moment, and without discipline, that glimpse stays an anecdote, a story you tell at dinner. It never becomes how you actually live. Discipline is what turns an experience into a structure. But here's the trap that nobody warns you about. Discipline can become its own escape hatch. In Vedanta, there's a sharp line between practice done from craving, wanting to become someone, wanting a result, wanting to be the kind of person who meditates, and practice done as a natural expression of what's already there. The Bhagavad Gita calls this the Nishkama Karma. Act but don't grasp the fruit. Because the second your discipline is secretly fueled by your ego's need to arrive somewhere, you haven't transcended the ego. You've built a more sophisticated one. Self-improvement dressed up as self-transcendence. Same costume, opposite function. Jung goes further. Discipline pointed only at the parts of yourself you've already approved of isn't spiritual growth. It's repression with better PR. Real growth means having the discipline to actually look at the shadow, not use discipline as a way to avoid it. Rigid routines, moral self-improvement projects. These can be discipline used defensively, and there's a name for it: spiritual bypassing. Using the practice to rise above the mess of being human instead of going through it. So it's not more discipline equals more growth. It's discipline builds the container. What you put inside it, grasping toward attainment or surrender, avoidance or honest confrontation, decides whether it serves you or just makes you a more polished, more impressive version of the same trapped person. Here's what that actually looks like. Two people meditate an hour a day, every day for a year. Same discipline, same container. One of them is doing it to become someone. Checking every session, am I better than last month? When the ugly stuff surfaces, anger, boredom, a memory they'd rather not have, they push past it, back to stillness. Because stillness is the goal, and the feeling is in the way of the goal. The other one sits there and lets it be ugly. Doesn't push, isn't trying to arrive anywhere, just contact with what's actually happening. A year later, the first one looks calmer, built real visible discipline. But nothing got resolved. It just learned to hide better, dressed up as peace. The second one actually changed. Same hour, same posture, completely different thing happening underneath. That's the whole relationship between discipline and spiritual growth right there. Discipline doesn't ask what you're hiding. That's your job.